Welcome to Crimeycade. I am the mad conservative crime fighter Stephen Lucas, back for another edition, and this is episode 58 of the podcast. And oops, this didn't come up. There we go. That's not what I want. I want this up. There we go. And drop that banner. My things don't want to show up on the screen when I want it to. We get perfect here. Anyway, well, last week on the pod, we had as our guest Paul Niemeyer, the graphics designer of many Bally Midway arcade games. He also did some pinball. He also did kind of a horror theme park of sorts, and was involved in some movies. And if you haven't seen this pod, you should go back and watch it. Held 1 week ago, and we covered a lot of material, including stuff that doesn't usually get covered at his seminars when he attends the game cons around the country. So I want to thank him for coming in last week. And please follow the Crimeycade podcast on Facebook. I need to get to 100. I have more followers on Twitch than I do on my Facebook page. So, facebook.com/Crimeycade. Top of the program, and I kind of need to address this. A little bit of a follow from last week. I did mention that I was having concerns about a prominent member of the gaming scene and just engaged in behavior that was a bit of alarming. I haven't heard anything new, but I was clued in. Actually, correction. Hadn't heard anything new today, but after my podcast last week, I was contacted and clued in as to what was going on with this gamer, and there was some concerns expressed by another prominent member of the gaming community, fearing this person was going to be exploited just to be looked at and laughed about, and because you know it's happened with other gamers, and they don't want to see this happen again, especially with the caliber of player that this person is in the arcade gaming community. So as of right now, the family is aware. They're trying to intervene, and hopefully the person in question gets the help that he needs, because I don't like seeing this horrible or this not good time that I mean, the person in question isn't seeing it, but I don't want to see it. I don't want to witness it. I want him to get the help that he needs, and so best wishes to the family. And if I hear anything later on, and maybe hopefully a positive outcome, I'll bring it up in a future edition of the pod. Okay. Hold on. Man, I can't work. It's like I'm spending all day working on trying to fix computers at work remotely. And we're in the midst of all these Windows 11 upgrades. And it's not been fun at all. So many of them fail, and then we're having to clean up the mess, and it's like we're not making any progress because the pile just keeps growing and growing and growing. It's just rough. But be that as may, I'm just gonna keep fighting. And why is this? There we go. Little bit. So this was a little curious. So it looks like Atari is taking control of all of its games again. I mean, for a number of years, you could download the ROMs and play them. Let's say download the SD card and play them on one of those those retro devices that will play all those classic Atari 2600 games. So a couple of sites got it pulled down. Obviously, AtariH.com, who is, I guess, marketing some of the newer stuff. That there is fear that publishers are now going after the Internet Archive, archive.org, and trying to pull more stuff off because, the publisher wants control of their stuff, even though they are not doing anything with them, and sometimes for decades. And the publishers don't necessarily care so much about preservation as much as we do, the players. So we'll see where this goes. Update on Sheesh. So a couple of channels, Smash JT, Lus, a few others were being copyright struck over showing footage from the court case between Billy Mitchell and Carl Jost. Well, those copyright challenges have lapsed because the content creators filed a counterclaim and announced their intent to countersue the Australian courts for abusing the copyright system, and they folded. And there's been some concerns about people running around the internet just false copywriting, striking various channels, especially the smaller content creators. They want you to put your personal information on the counterclaim so they can contact you and then demand ransom. Don't give them ransom. Just announce your intent to sue because, according to Tony Guro, who is Lus, L-U-S, says that they will not, they have no intention of following all the way through. They're just going to intimidate you and try to get some money out of you. But 99% of the time, they're just going to fold because their case is weak to begin with. Well, they don't have they don't have a leg to stand on for obvious reasons. And once they get challenged and face having to testify on the witness stand in the courtroom, they're not going to be so eager to do so. So congratulations to Tony Guro, Smash GT. They got their videos and those copyright strikes removed, and they should have been put on there in the first place. Video Game Summit in a couple of weeks. Maybe our guest will be attending it. I don't know. Maybe. It's not too far. I will not be able to make this, however, because I'm going to be busy with a local event. But Countryside, Illinois, July 12th, 2025. The Video Game Summit returns as its own standalone event. They were part of the Pinball Expo last year. So, yeah, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., $10 admission at the Holiday Inn in Countryside, Illinois. And a couple of weeks, they're going to be, the next day after that, they're going to be doing television tapings of Arcade Animals in North Carolina. I have sponsored one of the prizes on this game show. They used my promo in episode number 6. Now, they most likely have picked all their contestants. But you can still call that number. Way cool. 485. Make your best promo. Cut a promo as to why you should be a contestant on this game show. They'll probably use the promo. You may not get picked as a contestant, but they're certainly going to use promos from all over the country. So give it a shot. You never know. They might put you in an episode and you might have your 15 seconds of fame. And Bloody Wars. And that logo is covering this date up here. Good grief. I should have moved it over. Oh, well. But that says July 20th. Headless Horseman Arcade will be Marvel vs. Capcom 2 for the Bloody Wars interim title. The main title will not be on the line. Yes, there were some title changes. Last weekend, we have a new Bloody Wars heavyweight champion of the world. Donnell 314, I believe, is his gamer tag. He has won the title in kind of Money in the Bank, kind of like Ambush, as Norbert Vale, the former champion, got squashed by this guy a couple of times that night, and he wanted a title shot, and he got his title shot and won the belt. So Norbert is not too happy about that, and I was on the podcast 2 nights ago talking about this turn of events, but down the road, we'll see. I'm most likely going to enter the Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I've not been to Headless Horseman. The one on the 27th is not likely because I'm going to be busy with this. Missouri Game Con the day before in Manchester, Missouri. July 26, 2025, starting at 10 o'clock at the Greensfelder Recreation Complex. This is the 9th Missouri Game Con, and I've got a vendor table again, and I needed to kind of upgrade my presentation a little bit. So I got this a couple of nights ago, or a couple of days ago. There it is. This is my new 2 foot by 4 foot banner. I'm going to hang it up at my booth, and it's going to get some attention. I'm going to bring my multicades. I'll have stuff for sale at the Missouri Game Con, and be a fun time. So I have to show up. Gosh, I have to get up early in the morning, drive down to St. Louis, and set up a vendor table. It's like a 90-minute drive. I got to load the car up and just haul my tail down there. I mean, now that 10 a.m. start time, well, that's for everybody. But the VIPs get in at 9. So, yeah, got to get ready. And I got to get my stuff together, ready to sell in next month. All right. Oh, we got to throw this up here because, the Grand Air Mall T20. This is the 11th annual T20 tournament at the Galloping Ghost Arcade. Registration's open. I made my declaration that I'm the first one to declare my entry into the T20 tournament. And I'm the one in the 9-1 that has a T20 championship belt around my waist. So, cash prices are on the line. That $50 entry gets you a 3-day pass. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Play all day in the tournament. Go into the arcade, play some more. $500 goes to first place and a championship belt. $200 for second, $100 for third. Or at least that's been what it's been the last so many years. I don't know if they're going to bring the side tournament back. I would like the side tournament to come back because I won 3 of those in a row. But they didn't do that last year. They decided to do a T21. They had 21 new games. So we'll see if we get the side tournament, but who knows? Anything can happen. We don't know what games are going to be put in this tournament. They may do another 20 new games. So, without further ado, our guest. So I put out fielders for a number of podcast guests, maybe do some roundtables on different subjects. And this is one of those responders. But interestingly enough, I went into a certain gaming convention 2 months ago, and to my surprise, there she is on the stage doing a seminar. Unexpected. So I had a little chat with this gal, and we got this lined up, and she is here tonight. Let me get this set up correctly. Here we go. All right. Lindsay Lauwers.
Yay!
You get hide this. There we go.
Ta-da!
Welcome to the pod.
Hey.
So yeah, you're an hour ahead. So you're on Eastern time, being out in kind of in the Great Lakes region. I'm on Central.
Yeah.
So I don't know how late you could go, but I kind of my hours have been kind of averaging between 90 and 2 hours. So,
Okay.
but you're starting at 9 o'clock. So
Real.
anyway, so it's LLCoolGames, and well, set us off. What's the channel all about?
Right now the channel is about summer vacation, and so I don't have a whole lot of time to be posting videos on my channel, sadly. But mostly what I'm still doing is kind of talking about gaming, both retro gaming and current gaming, but with that family flavor kind of to it, and how gaming, at least in my family, and as I think we need to work towards a community, right, using screens to our great benefit instead of having so many families treating them as like the bad, the screens, don't give them the screens. And it's like, it's kind of inevitable. So I really
They're referring to
yeah.
these.
So
referring to
many.
these.
And it's so funny because so many people do. They're just like, no, we just don't do that. And it's like, doesn't your kid go to school? Do they go outside? Like, they're gonna see screens. You gotta help them learn and to develop that relationship. And playing video games with your kids is a great way to build a relationship between, right, parents and kids, but also to help them better understand their relationship with screens too.
And we're about to be joined by the real
Uh-oh.
star of the show because he's down here crying.
Aww.
Cody has crashed another stream, and that's what he does because he thinks he's the star.
You
He
looked
wants
right in
his
the
screen
camera.
time. Yeah. Comes up here every week.
Oh, baby.
And he's ornery too, and he'll take a bite if I'm not paying attention to him. So
Yeah.
anyway, Cody. Yep. All right. So go all the way. So the beginning when you got into gaming,
Yeah.
what was the hook? What game was your hook?
So I actually benefited from my parents being gamers. Ready? Where's my picture? It doesn't show up very well because it's a glossy, ancient photograph, right? From vintage. This is probably 1984.
Yeah, I can
And
relate to that very much.
That is my mom. That's my mom. And that little person is me. I'm probably about a year old, which means she's sitting there pregnant with my brother too, which is hilarious. And you can't really see it in the picture, but this is our Atari 2600, and it's got one of those awesome like wood look drawer storage things for all the games underneath there. And she even has like the directions laid out for whatever it is she's playing. So the quote always is, right, readers are made in the laps of their parents. Gamers are too. And so for us growing up, it just was always around. Now, during the school year, the Atari got put away. My parents were teachers, so it just got put away. And then over the summer, we could play, right? And each of us kids, we were allowed an hour. But then if you played together, you could have 2 hours, right? If you would play a co-op game or take turns, then you both could play for 2 hours. So already right there, right? My parents, and I doubt it was on purpose, right? Where they were like, I'm going to help my kids get along really well. But that's what happened. We started playing games and we would swap off levels because you get stuck. Like, it's Atari and we were little and we had a joystick. Like, we didn't even have, right? Most people think of like an NES controller. It was a joystick.
Says when
Yes,
directions mattered.
directions mattered.
I gotta.
Well,
Yeah,
and
when
usually there was
messages pop up, I gotta post them. So
yeah, there was like a
here again.
backstory too, right? In a lot of the Atari stuff, there was like info there. Um, and then we lucked out, and we actually had a kiddo friend down the street that had a Super Nintendo.
Mhm.
So we, again, would go down in the summertime, right, and get to go hang out and play Super Nintendo. And again, that situation, then there's three of us. And then it was handing the controller off, right? My levels in Super Mario World were the platformers, like the crazy platformers with really fast music. That was me. Those were my levels. Donkey Kong Country, the water levels, give me the controller. Those are my levels. So without meaning to, right, our parents and her parents down the street were kind of already building in some of those important gaming lessons that you don't even learn on purpose, right? It just was, I need help. This is, or I'm good at this, let me try. So, so really Super Nintendo started pulling us in, and then we lucked out. The Christmas that the N64 was available, we got one. And I was pretty casual with it until Banjo-Kazooie came out, actually. Banjo was a huge door for me. I don't even know. Looking at it now as an adult, I think because Banjo is like the ultimate collectathon, right? You had to collect things within the levels, and then you had to collect them to be able to open the other levels up. Plus, then you could collect and continue collecting within the levels to go through the other levels. Like it just like was layer upon layer. And it wasn't anything like super complex, right? It really didn't like pull you aside or like give you a level to teach you something. Like for the most part with Banjo, the directions, the controls were super straightforward. Go and do this thing, right? And make sure you find all the music notes. Like it really just hit a perfect spot, right? In a perfect time for me. And I remember getting in trouble staying up late because you get into a level and it's like, I've got 95 of these buggers, right? I gotta go find the last ones. And so I even had and I don't think I had like a Brady Games guide or anything, right? Like an actual book guide. So I'm guessing maybe it was like a Nintendo Power or like some of the walkthrough things that you could get.
Yeah.
So I had like literature too, right? And it just like drew me in. I don't know, because it was cute, because it was funny, like what exactly it was, but Banjo came at the right time, and from there, things kind of progressed slowly for me. But Banjo really like pulled me in and kind of showed me that I can play video games, and it is more than just kind of a casual thing. It can be really engaging and meaningful.
Yeah, I didn't play Banjo Kazooie. Well, I know what it is, but let me present. Since we're talking about it, let me throw this up here because it's gameplay. There you go. I
Oh,
This I
perfect.
believe is the N64. I did
Yeah.
not get an N64.
Mm,
So the consoles I went through, yes, the Atari 2600 was the first one because.
yeah.
Oh, what was the game that you played first? That you
My obsession on the Atari was Joust. I loved
really
the Joust.
joust?
I loved going as fast as possible, and then right being able to kind of plan, well, I'm going around, so I'm gonna have to come in and like be up at the top because there's gonna be two guys that I gotta hit. Yeah, I loved Joust.
That was the first game you played?
Um, Probably not. I would assume we definitely had Asteroids. We definitely had Space Invaders. Um, we had a couple of games like really similar to Space Invaders. There was like a cat and mouse maze game that we played a
Mousetrap.
lot. Um, but Joust was the first one that I was really like I'm gonna get really good at this. Yeah.
Chow. So yeah, my hook was Space Invaders.
Yeah.
I've had on this pod, and I'm going to put it, Joust 2600 on the screen. I've had on this pod the world's best female joust player in the world. That would be Tracy Gleave. So this is Joust for the 2600.
It looks so simple. It looks simple.
It's a little more simplified because, the arcade game is a bit harder, has a lot more. I think they took some features out to make this game work on the Atari 2600. But
the sound effects are fantastic. Totally agree.
Though I don't have the 2600 version of Joust. I do have the 8-bit version of Joust for the Atari XLXE computer.
Oh, there you go.
Yep. Welcome, Mysticals. Boy, everybody's coming in here now.
Whoop, whoop.
Yes, welcome everybody that's coming in. I didn't tell you who it was. It's Tracy Gleave.
Yeah.
And she's coming back to America for the T20 tournament at the Galvin Ghost Arcade.
That's crazy.
So her record, she's run up 30 million points.
Oh my word.
On the arcade.
Yeah, see, in the arcade's a whole nother basket of cats. Yeah. Wow.
So you played the consoles first. What was your first experience with the arcade games or the arcade counterparts?
So arcades for us meant, because I grew up in the middle of nowhere. Ready? Okay, so we'll do the Michigan thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because I grew up in Michigan. So I grew up in Cadillac, which is nowhere. We have lakes, and they used to have the North American Snowmobile Fest. That was our claim to fame.
They didn't produce Cadillacs there?
No, isn't that crazy? I'm guessing they got the name, right? Because Detroit is just across the state. So I'm guessing that's where the name came from, but I don't know. We had to go about an hour north to Traverse City. And they had in their mall, very 90s, right? Late 80s mall. They had an awesome pocket change arcade. So I'm thinking more, though, I didn't play a ton of the stand-up. I was more in for the sit down and shoot 'em kind of games, or like the stand and shoot where you have to like shoot off screen. I guess you do that too. But the Jurassic Park, that was my first one. I have beat that game so many times in an arcade. That was my first one. Again, like I don't know exactly what the combination was, but that one hit just the right notes and I wanted it, right? I wanted to get to the end. I wanted to get to see all the dinosaurs that were featured in it, see where they took everything. And yeah, it's so much fun. And that one was
several.
Yeah.
There's several different Jurassic Park arcade games. Guess which one was the one that you played? Was it the Sega one that was a sit down, or
it was a sit down? Yes, because I even remember when the arcade got it, because they had like posters and stuff up around in the mall. Like they were so excited about this new, because it was like a huge installation, right? And now you see them everywhere. I feel like there's Jurassic Park sit down shooters everywhere. But
I think
when they were getting it, and they even had it where they did a really bougie pocket change where like the carpet kind of spilled out outside of the thing. And so it was like outside of the arcade. Like it was like so prominent for a while. It was awesome.
So this is footage from Sega's version of Jurassic Park. No scoring at all on this one. It's basically see how far you can get to the end. I'm going to have to jump this. Here we go.
Yeah, you got to shoot the gates open.
Yeah, 4 areas. You're in. It's a rail. This is more of a rail shooter. Yeah.
Yes.
It's not the it's not the Raw Thrills game that's been out for a while recently.
Right. Well, and there's one too, right, where it gets a little more detailed in it. Yeah, it gives you, oh my gosh, that's so crazy. I can hear this. That's what's sad, right? Is in my head. I can hear the as he's running at you.
Yes, that is correct. It is inside the Jeep. The Galloping Ghost Arcade does
Yeah.
have this.
It's so fun. And it's one of those things where it's ageless, right? Like everybody wants to shoot at everybody wants to shoot at dinosaurs. Come on.
Yeah, and this one's, gosh, this one's hard.
It is.
I mean, there's no scoring in this game, but if there were, it'd be difficult to get a high score on this one, unless there's a cheat code that gives you a scoring mechanic, but I haven't heard of one yet. Yeah, look at all these guys charging at you.
Get out of the way.
Yeah, I played this. I didn't get too far. This is about somewhere into this mess. I got killed off because
It's
that T-Rex.
hard. Yeah.
Yeah, they wanted your quarters.
The T-Rex takes forever. And if you're not doing it right, if you're not timing those head tilts, yeah.
Yeah, they wanted your quarters. I think this was the spot where I just
because
failed.
They hit you hard.
Yeah, unfair, but
that's the point.
I know. What a good game, not one that's just like taking your quarters. Just take your quarters. I mean,
Sure.
let the pros rack up a score that played it a number of times. Anyway, let's see what else. So 1984, you had the Atari. Gosh, and I think you started playing it right at the point where the video game crash happened.
Yes. Yeah.
So you're just getting good into Atari, and then
it went away.
They ended up in discount bins, and it's like, is video games over? Are we going to be able to play video games in the future beyond this? Thankfully, yes, because I had a computer and I could pirate the games from or download them to someone or trade them. But how did you keep playing after the crash?
So my mom was a teacher, right? And so we had a home computer pretty early on, I would say. We started on an Apple LC3. Mm-hmm. And so we had some super basic games. And then I'm trying to think when we upgraded. So we upgraded and then the game started coming right with like Sim Ant. We had Sim Ant, which why is that fun? But it is. I had Sim Life. My brother had this super creepy first person. I'm trying to think of what it was called. You were trying to like get through this like underground pyramid thing, and like ghosts and things would come at you. It was like pathways, something.
So dungeon crawler of some sort, yeah.
Yeah. Very, very much right, like the Doom Wolfenstein, right, with the walls that kind of move you along. And so we had that to kind of supplement after, because sadly our Atari one summer it just died, right? We were playing and it croaked. And then in the way that parents do, they just gave us screwdrivers. We took it apart and it had burned through, right, the green board. It had burned a hole in it. So it was not coming back. There was no saving it. So
not unless you can build circuit boards.
Right. It wasn't one of those things where it's like, oh, maybe it needs a new. No, it had burned through it.
And getting a used one was a little difficult, I guess.
Yes. So yeah, for us there was a little bit of pause. I know we had a couple of like the Tiger handhelds, which again is one of those things where you look at those now and it's like, why were we playing that? They're so.
Hey, I play them too. Yeah. I mean, some of them were good, some of them were not so good. But we don't have the Game Boy hadn't come out. The Sega Game Gear had not come out yet. We're still like, if we wanted to play games handheld, LEDs.
Yeah.
And crystal displays.
Right. With little black lines that move. Like that's all it was, guys. It wasn't that
Yeah,
cool,
it's
but they
just
were
light up
cool.
spots on the screen,
Yep.
all fixed, animation limited. But so from there, we got to the second half of the 80s. You were playing computer games.
Mhm.
What was catching your eye later?
So, right. So we did the 64. And I know my brother in there somewhere had a Game Boy Color, but that, I don't know. Maybe he just didn't share. Like, I don't know why I really never interacted with it. Yeah, that's interesting. Maybe because right at the same time I was playing 64. And especially
Nintendo
again,
64, but not the Commodore 64.
right. Um, we had again over the summers we had a lot more privilege, right? So
Mhm.
we would usually over the weekends go to the local movie place and they had games, and so I would rent um games, right? And again, you're just like picking based on what it looks like on the shelf. I couldn't Google it. I couldn't just pull it up on my phone and see, anything about
Right.
it. So I know we rented Clay Fighters a lot for that one. And shoot. Well, the Snowboard Kids, that one got played a lot to the point that I think we wound up with a copy of that one. Um,
Yeah, if you're renting a game multiple times, the same title, you
right.
most likely should buy the game to keep instead of endlessly renting it.
Right? And it finally got to be because other people would rent it and like black out your scores, right? Like save over your
Yeah,
file. And so that's finally how we got it. It's just like, no, come on. Like we want our own, we want our own save file. Get us this game. Um, yeah, so it just kind of was 64 in there for a good while. Um, until I was in high school and PlayStation. But I didn't pay attention until I had a boyfriend in high school. God
mhm.
bless him. I hope he's well. Who played Final Fantasy 9, and that was it. That was the gateway drug that I had been waiting for. Um, and he was awesome enough that he played it, and then when he was done, I got to borrow the machine, and I played Final Fantasy 9. And I've probably played through that probably 3 or 4 times on the PlayStation, which I did ultimately buy that machine off of him too. I wound up just buying his copy and his machine. Um, and then I've played it through on the Switch too, which is nicely comparable. I was very happy with how it translated on the Switch. Would I like a remake? Any day. Yes, please. Especially with how well they've been treating some of those older Final Fantasy games, which I
Yeah,
didn't
7 has
play.
been phenomenal.
It's ridiculous the attention that they've given it. And I played out of order. I did 9, and then I actually played 7 and 8 on my computer in college, which is ridiculous. But I did 7 and 8 on disc, and then I actually just played all the other ones, the old ones, um, that were available online. I just played like in Flash games on my computer in college, which is awesome. God love Flash games. So
Remarkably, I've never played Final Fantasy. I
really,
have watched, but for some strange reason, I'm watching other players play it on Twitch.
well, I just because
Kind of
there's
weird, don't you think?
no,
I
it's not
watch
though.
other
I
people play just for instead of me playing it.
Well, but you're focusing on different things,
Yeah, the story.
right? You're not
Not
worried about, oh my gosh, do I have enough XYZ? They're driving. You get to just focus on the art and the events. And um yeah, I'm actually reading a book right now, the Doom Guy book. right? Written by, I'm not going to remember his name.
But based on the video game
No, it's
and the main
the,
protagonist.
right. It's the developer's like autobiography.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
and it's fantastic. And he just was talking about this, about how, right, so many people mourn the loss of arcades and that social feeling of gaming, where you could, like you were just saying, you could walk by and watch, right, just watch somebody play over their shoulder, get an idea about a game. Do I want to play this? Do I like this?
Mm-hmm.
But
Get tech.
that was his point, is that's what Twitch is now. Is
Yeah.
that's our arcade. You can watch anybody play anything, and you can decide, is this worth my time? Do I spend the money, or do I just enjoy getting to sit and talk to this person while they play? And I think that's a really neat take on that. So many people, bringing it all the way back to parenting, so many people are just like, no, right? Why are you wasting your time, right? And in your case, you can probably go play the game, right? If I'm watching somebody play something, I could probably go play it. I'm an adult with adult money. I can go get it. But it's different. There's a relaxed, and you're learning. Why would you not want your kids? Guaranteed, I don't want my kids to sit and watch hours of Minecraft videos. I don't. Right?
Yeah.
Get some ideas and go do something. But they're researching, right? They're not just like impulse popping off. Oh, I want to buy all these games, and my kids are learning stuff about video games. The reason I'm listening to the Doom Guy book right now is because my oldest is playing Steam just recently had them on crazy sale. So he got like the first 3, I think it's up to Doom 64, right?
Yeah.
For ridiculously cheap. And so that's what he's been doing, is watching walkthroughs and listening to the developers talk about how Doom came to be. And it's just super fascinating. How can that be bad, right? Your kid is, I bet he could write me 1,000-word paper on anything about Doom right now if I asked him. How can that be a bad thing? Yeah.
So the videos you got on your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I think it's fairly new. I think it's fairly new. You've only done this for about a year.
About a year. Yeah.
So tell us about some of the stuff that's on there.
Most of what's on there is me figuring out what in the world I want to do with the YouTube channel.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'll throw that up there just for the kicks and giggles.
The most fun thing for me to do is convention content. We, as a family, I'm lucky enough to have a family fully gamers. And so we go to conventions, and it's so much fun just to go and be and experience, right? We definitely do some shopping. My husband is a big Nintendo collector. He has everything back to his original NES all the way up, right? We have Switch 2 in the house. So he goes with a purpose, right? My oldest kid really likes a lot of very predictable retro games, typically shooters. My middle kid is a Smash player, coming up on his high school esports team and all that stuff. So he goes more for tournament aspects. And my youngest is 10, and he's just kind of happy to tag along at this point in time. So a lot of what I'm doing still is right, talking about conventions, talking about the activities and things that we're doing, making videos about Amiibo, because nobody talks about Amiibo, and that's sad because they're cool. And yeah, still, again, just trying to kind of find my feet and figure out what I am going to do and who I am going to be, and the things that I want to highlight and focus on, because I don't know yet, but we'll get there.
I think you had a few gameplay streams too in there.
We did last summer, right? Nomad from the Retro Wildlands and I kind of tag team played Sea of Stars, because we both knew it's a lengthy game with a really involved story, and we both knew that neither of us were going to be real good at like committing to and playing it. So why not play it with somebody and keep the other person accountable? And that was awesome. To have somebody to write something happens in the game. You can bounce ideas off it. I'm stuck on this boss, bounce ideas. I hate this section of the game. And they can say, hey, it's okay once you get through it, right? The boss at the end of that area is easy. It's fine. Just push through. That was really, really fun. Plus getting to engage with a great YouTube podcast person was definitely a benefit to me. He's awesome.
Midwest Gaming Classic, and you know, you were there. I ran into you out there. So I have a streak of 21 going.
Wow.
Yes, I've been there every year since 2004.
That's amazing.
Well, so it's the fastest 48 hours of the year.
Yeah.
And yeah, this year was no exception. I will say, yeah, year 20. That year, when the convention was over, I was really feeling the blues because I felt like I didn't get to do and see everything I wanted to.
Yeah, it's that big. Yes.
Well,
you didn't, I guarantee
bigger.
you.
Yes.
It did. It got bigger. Yeah.
Well, I pretty much have been around since they ran out of the Brookfield Sheraton in Wisconsin.
Wow.
And then they moved to a Walk.
Ooh.
Then they moved back to the Sheraton, and then they went to the Wisconsin Center. And the Wisconsin Center, you know, it's been kind of, the space in there has been kind of reconfigured a few times. They would be on a different floor.
Yeah.
The vendor hall keeps, last couple of years has been the biggest it's ever been, the vendor hall.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, I'm trying to walk through it, and it's like I'm not spending a single penny because I'm overwhelmed. The other problem is I got too much on hand that I haven't played, and I'm more focused on classic arcade game and score chasing right now.
Yeah.
I do have consoles, yes. The Nintendo, the Sega Genesis, GameCube, the Wii, the Atari 2600, and then there's some stuff that's been bought that's never been played, and some in a store in a closet that I've not messed with. And it's like, now I'm doing this podcast. Right, eats up more time, and now I got a project in my garage, an arcade restore project. I haven't really been able to dive into. It's doesn't boot up and play, and it's like I've got it cheap, but I have to take the thing apart just to repair the cabinet, and then isolate what's wrong. Is it the monitor? Is it the power supply? Is it the board? It's getting power. I can hear power, but it's
you probably feel the power. Yeah.
the monitor doesn't turn on. I replaced the fuses, it still don't turn on. I don't hear any. It doesn't play blind, so I don't know what's wrong with it. But I certainly need to replace the plywood on one side because it was grossly deteriorated. So I took the leg off this cocktail. It's a cocktail, Space Firebird.
Crazy. Okay.
I took the leg off and then set that side on bricks to get a not have it, let's say, sit sideways, but it does the job. It's because the bottom of the cabinet's fine.
Okay.
Just the side is just deteriorated. So anyway, yeah, I haven't gotten to that project. And I'd like to practice on the games that I'm trying to take back.
Yeah.
Go back up to the Galvin Ghost Arcade, which I'm going up there this weekend.
All right.
But I haven't had to practice on anything. And I have to make graphics. I have to film. And you'd think I'd have the time.
Never. There's
No.
never time.
No. Especially when you're parenting. And I don't have any kids. So I can have
Well,
all the time in the world, but I don't have any kids, and I don't seem to have time. So
yeah.
as a parent,
Yes,
how
sir.
do you manage it?
Um, so it's gotten, which is an interesting thing to say. It's gotten easier as my kids have gotten more into gaming, right? When they were little, we were really careful about what they saw, right? Luckily, the husband and I aren't super into, right, first person shooters or horror games or any of those kinds of things. The first game that our kids were really around were what the kids called block Pokemon. We played the original Pokemon games on a Game Boy player on our GameCube.
Yeah.
Right, put on the TV and just through them kind of learning to talk to us and engage. They were probably 3 or 4. Our oldest 2 are about a year and a half apart. 3, 4, 5 in there. And they'd start to engage, right? And then they start to be able to read and to understand the words. Like if I ever was going for my doctoral, I would definitely shoot for how influential Pokemon has been on that generation's their vocabulary. It's phenomenal. That game is so educational, and I love Pokemon. It's really boring to play though. Sorry, not sorry. But
Yeah, and the other thing is I prefer Digimon.
I was such a Digimon kid. Like it's not even. But I liked the anime and the books. Like that was my Digimon. So anyway, yes, I'm a huge Digimon. The husband like cannot get over it because he was a huge Pokemon fan. Anyway, so he started with Pokemon, like super approachable, super easy, right? There's no it's a no stress, but right, it's competition. But it's one of those games where you lose and you try again, right?
Yeah.
It's okay. Nothing really has been lost. You're going to be fine. And then the Wii, right? We had Wii. We slept outside of a Target to get our first Wii, and the kids started with some of the super basic motion controls on the Wii. And their first game that they really got to play and interact with was Kirby's Epic Yarn, which I could talk for an entire day about how good that game and like all those cutesy like crafted games are for beginner gamers. Like it's so non-intense, it's so just casual and light and fun, and you're going on an adventure and look at how sparkly and fun it is. Like it's just the greatest entry level. So like Yoshi's Woolly World on the Switch too. Every kid should play that. Every parent can play it with their kids because those games are designed for team play, right? It's not competitive. It's just let's walk through this beautiful little space and see what happens. And then from there, they kind of each have gone their separate ways. So we have 3 boys, and they each like their different kind of gaming. And it's just been fascinating to see where their gaming goes, to learn through their hyperfixations, right? I'm learning so much about Doom right now through my book that I found because my kid is obsessed with Doom right now. So I'm learning and reading about Doom. Why not? Right?
Now the original or the current stuff?
He is currently playing the original Doom, right? Which could run on somebody's fingernail right now, I feel like, right? Like they've got it so compressed so it can run on like on your refrigerator, right? People have it running. It's so funny.
Kind of like that Toho song. Jeez, broke Bad Apple.
Yeah. It's everywhere. And it's been really fun for him. He's 15. My oldest is 15. And for him to have that like retro perspective and then on his gaming, so his modern game right now, he's really working hard on unlocking and finding everything in the Mario Kart World game that just came out, right? Super, like it's like what, 2 weeks old now?
Yeah.
Then he's out right now on his computer because he wants to memorize it. Like this is the thing, right? It's
Yeah.
so procedural. It's so set. He's like, I can just memorize this. It's not going to be hard. So, yeah, it's wild to have our gaming interests, which we are heavily Nintendo based. But we have a PS5, which is super interesting. My youngest and I have been playing Blueprints, which is a really interesting. It's an indie game. It's and I don't even know what to call it. So it's like a roguelike house building game. It's kind of a puzzler. You are a nephew of your uncle just recently died. And in this house of 45 rooms, you have to find the 46th room to claim your inheritance. And that's pretty much all they tell you.
Lovely.
And it's like, okay. And it's kind of creepy and it's right. And but then you make a discovery and it's like jumping up and down because I'm so excited that we found something new. And so to have my youngest guy and I playing that has been really interesting to talk about, right? Conservation of resources, right? You have to have food and you have to have steps. Is it worth going over here? Do we try this? Like he's definitely more that the thoughtful, take your time kind of gaming.
What's the name of it?
It's called Blueprints. It's PRINCE in the title.
PRN.
PRINCE, like prince, like royalty. Even though you're creating blueprints, like a house.
Okay.
It's super.
I don't know if I can find it. I was gonna throw this up on the screen, but
it's
awesome. Blueprints.
Blueprints.
Oh, here, throw this. Present. Share
That's
screen.
a game that's fun to watch on Twitch. Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna have audio. The audio's gonna be off in case they try to copyright ding me or something, but
that's okay.
Blueprints, okay.
Yeah, you just walk around a house. It has a very, very much that like Myst feel. Like you're problem solving, but you're constantly like, there has to be more to this. Like, what is happening? What am I missing? It's been a lot of fun. Right now, there's a save bug. So they've actually came out, I want to say Tuesday, and we're like, don't play right now, guys. We're working on a patch. It's like, oh no, okay.
Now you're wandering through the house. There's sort of like jump scares or
There's not. Nope. It's just a creepy, empty house. And you have to find this extra room. Yep. It's
46.
awesome.
All right. It's out for, I guess, PlayStation. The PS5.
Yeah, I think it's on Steam. I think it's on Steam or it's coming on Steam.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see a reason. Oh, gosh.
Yeah,
it's PS5 apparently, just for the PS5 apparently.
Which is interesting. It's not that high like graphics, but
no, it's cartoony.
Yeah.
So go back to Midwest Gaming. So you're a parent and you're taking your kids out there. So how do you manage the kids in such a big convention hall that's multi-floors? And you have the VIG package, which I get that every year too. Although I missed the doggone Dreamcast pin, apparently.
Oh, did you know?
I didn't know they had it.
Send them an email.
They're supposed to. Why didn't they include it in the goodie bag? I didn't even see this double-sided ticket in there.
Yeah, that was definitely in my feedback this year. It's like, guys, this is the coolest thing. Why did you not promote this more? Like,
I didn't even know about it. No, I'm
so
happy
fun.
because I've got a thing of pins, and it's like some of yours got skipped somehow.
Yeah. No, send them an email. Come on, man. I've been coming since that.
I'll be back next year. It's like I'll be bugging them. Are you forgetting something? I mean, yeah, I had to do this pre-order and have all this stuff, and I ended up, $10 voucher. I ended up with let's see, I said I didn't buy anything, but I had to pre-order. Had the
Ooh.
$10 voucher, so I had to use it on something because I hadn't done it in previous years. So that's Motor X, which is like Excite Bike, which
Uh-huh.
was the latest game they just put out on the arcade floor at Galvin Ghost. So
Very cool. See,
yeah,
that's the best part about Midwest is they cover every base. If you have any kind of interest that is tied to gaming, I mean, right, they have a huge table gaming section too, which we aren't super interested in. But
yeah, that's outside my scope too.
um but if you have any interest in any kind of gaming, Midwest, you want to go to Midwest. It's awesome. So for us, yes, we buy the VIP packages for the most part anywhere we go, right? That's one of the bigger costs that we take on as a family of 5. But this is like my PSA, right?
Yeah,
Please monetarily support the cons you want to go to
yeah,
by buying the VIP packages, right? That is the money that they need. And they were actually calling this out this year too at Midwest. Kiwi Robo is my favorite. That game is so hard though. You have to be patient in Kiwi Robo. Midwest, it is Mecca, if I may. Like, because there's so much to do, you kind of go in knowing you're going to miss something, right? So you're just
yeah.
like, you know what? I'm going to miss something. So I'm just going to go and enjoy and do everything that I can. And it will be enough. It's so fun. But yes. So we invest up front because we want to say yes to these conventions, right? Yes. We want to come. We are going to be here. We are going to put our money where our mouth is and make sure that you can continue moving forward.
Yeah.
So that's always my thing. If you can, spend the money for the VIP. So we go, and we usually go with a plan in mind, right? If we're going, and it's like we're going to be in the arcades, right? We're going to be in the gamer space. And if you need to go somewhere, if you need to this or that, luckily I'm at a point now, my youngest is 10. So he knows our phone number. He knows, right? He has some stranger danger lessons and so on in him. Like, he understands. Though I will say at Midwest, I'm really not worried. People are there to play and have fun. Right? Random strangers and stuff will come up and talk to you if you're playing something.
Yeah.
We're all there to have fun.
Right.
And it's just I'm not super worried at Midwest. But we kind of have a plan, and we usually do like a 2-hour time block, and then it's like, okay, check in. We're going to meet right at the wall divide between the game room and the vendor hall. We're going to meet, we're going to check in. We do have one phone that the 3 kids kind of have or share or pass around when we are at venues and places like that. And other than that, it's just kind of, open. I mean, if they have an interest, especially at Midwest too, and the way it was this year, what did you think about how they rearranged this year?
So the vendor hall was up top, I believe.
Yep.
So was the game room. So that was
Yep.
kind of similar to previous years.
Mhm.
The competition area was on the second floor, and the the ballroom was not being used. So
Right.
but second floor, the arcade's there.
Mhm.
World of Nintendo's there. Men's of Nintendo Land was on the second floor.
Yes.
Shout out to her. She'll be at Missouri Game Con in a few weeks or a month. Yeah, the bottom floor had stuff too. I generally
Yeah.
don't run around the bottom floor because this is the board game stuff, and I'm not into that. Although there were some of the video game stuff got mixed down there, so I still walked through it anyway. obviously the giant gorilla on the
Yeah.
first floor, and the vendor and the merch.
Yeah, the way they had the merch like tucked back, that was excellent because it made it like a little store. Like it was so much nicer to be in that space and kind of browse and know it was contained in that space. Like I wasn't missing anything, right? Because it was all right there. But yeah, with the board game space back down there, they were just so much more isolated. I would be curious to know um how much activity that space actually saw with it there versus up. um yeah, because it's normally been up in the big ballroom space, at least. So we've gone 3 years.
Yeah, 3 years
So
in a row or broken up.
yes, it's been 3 years in a row. We are addicts at this point. It's already on the calendar for next year. Yeah, it's so late next year, oh my gosh. But we just kind of plan. I mean, with our kids and as easygoing, and also the fact that they're there to game too, right? They want to be there. They want to play. They want to play the new pinball tables that are there. They want to play the retro arcades that they don't normally have access to. Um, so it's
Yeah, and here's the other
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
It's hard for me to play stuff at this now. It's getting hard for me to play games at this thing now.
yeah,
And the pinballs, there's always, and ditto with the pinball expo, there's always people on them. And it's like, I have to do it Friday night if I'm going to do it at all,
sure.
or go out to Troy Smith's place in Decatur and
Oh, there
play
you go.
because that's where TNT Amusements is, and they have an open house periodically.
Oh, cool.
So that's where I play the newest pinballs because I
Yeah,
can't get on them at the convention.
at Midwest. Well, and this year they had a couple of those like setups where they had a camera so you could like stand back and watch the table action while somebody was playing and not be super creepy and like breathing on them.
Oh,
That was
that's a regular thing now.
that was outstanding. That was so much fun to get to stand there, right? And there'd be a crowd of people watching somebody, and they'd get something special to light up or some bonus. And like there'd be like a mini crowd cheer go up because this guy, is unlocking something or, hit Jaws just right and got it to light up. And it was so fun. Where is that?
That is in Schaumburg, Illinois,
Oh, there you go.
at the convention center, and they've been there the last few years. I will be going to this
Awesome.
again. But yeah, this starts. So last year was the 40 year, but this is year 41. So they're going to go back. They're going to start it Wednesday night and run all the way to Saturday night.
Oh, that's awesome.
I had bought like the full bigger pass for the whole week, but I ended up not using it. It's like, I'll go back. I'll go down to the 3-day pass because I can't. Hold on a second, get that off.
Can't go every day. Yeah, I hear it.
Well, the other thing, I can't go. I can't go the full week because I have obviously the pets in the house, and one needs medication.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of can't be longer than 3 days right now.
Yeah.
Which sucks because I need to go cross country to certain
Right. I'm out of
places. I
here.
can't go to the game cons in the Carolinas or.
Oh, let's go. We are going this year. We wanted Siege. We wanted Siege last year. And
Siege.
my brother, the Southeast Game
Fried?
Exchange.
Oh,
No,
Southeast Game Exchange.
Southeast Game Exchange.
Okay, well, I got that graphic up here.
We were gonna go last year, and then my brother decided to get married that weekend. So
really,
family trumps video games. So we're going this year. We are taking our sweet time. We have an RV that we travel in when we go to gaming conventions. Instead of paying for a hotel, we take our hotel with us. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. We'll be there Friday and Saturday. Sunday we have to spend the day driving back, which will be a very long day. But I have a kiddo that has marching band camp. So we have to get back. Marching band.
Yeah, those long drives. I mean,
Yeah. It's going to be a long day, but we're going to kind of take our sweet time getting down. We're going to go to the limited run store on our way, kind of out of our way on our way, but it'll be great. That's our summer vacation. Going to a gaming convention.
Yeah. So going back to Midwest Gaming, so it's like,
Yeah.
I've never had previous years to like write up a schedule of events.
Yeah. Oh
that
no,
I'm
you
doing.
have to. You have to.
Well, yeah, now I do if I want to play in the tournaments.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, because that was definitely in my feedback this year too. You can't overlap stuff, guys.
Well, I know I can't.
That's just not fair to people who are coming. You can't overlap tournaments, especially if it's like retro arcade tournaments or it's like Smash and that kind of stuff. Because right, I had a kiddo that had to like pick. And it's like, come on, we came all this way. Let us compete in all the things we want to. Like,
well, there's the thing. Fastest 48 hours. So there's a limited number, there's a limited amount of time to even hold all these things.
Right.
And yeah, on top of that, wrestling stuff.
Why not?
Yeah, I tried to get away from the wrestling stuff, and now now it's a regular part of the conventions.
It is. Yeah.
But this year, I walked over there. I said hi to Hornswoggle because I met him previous years, but I only looked at one match and then did not. I just like, I'm not here to see wrestling.
Yeah,
I know, but I'm
glad it's there for the people who want it. Yes, but yeah, we don't have time. You don't have time to kill. It's come on, in 15 minutes we got to go see Corey and Try talk, and we got to go over here, and we got to go to the different stages and the different levels, and yeah, it's crazy.
I don't have time to do the daggum seminars either.
No,
I just if I want to see it bad enough, I guess I can pull it up on YouTube because they stream it on Twitch. They stream those past seminars on Twitch,
right?
On their own. Yes, thank goodness.
Yes,
a number of years ago, I was in a panel.
Oh, nice.
The panelist of the classic video game champions, the Nintendo champions, which I'm one of them. I'm the 91 Nintendo Campus Challenge champion.
Mm-hmm. How many of you were together for a panel?
I think about 5 or 6.
Yeah, that's awesome.
There's some. Gosh, the Wii Sports champion was there.
Crazy.
I think representatives who did not win the whole thing, but were they placed.
Okay, that's still cool. That's ridiculous. I wish I had been, I guess, old enough and known about. Not that I'm any kind of super speed, high skill, any kind of gamer. That is not me. But
well, are you feeling a little bit of an imposter syndrome? That term got thrown my way, a past guess, and I just decided, I'm going to hang on to that, put that in my back pocket, and pull it out when needed.
Right? No.
Do I have a little bit of it? Well, with the last 2 weeks with the guests I had, yeah, I kind of.
Oh my gosh. But Paul Niemeyer is the coolest guy.
Yes.
He's the coolest guy. That cracked me up. That is oh my gosh, I'm the follow-up act to Paul Niemeyer. It's okay.
Well, here's the funny thing was I got him kind of I was like I need to line up a guest for next week, and I had Brian Colin who did Rampage.
Yeah.
And it's the night before or day of Colin's interview, Paul Niemeyer agreed to come on. So that was just kind of surprising because I talked to him about it before, but it was scheduling because he goes to the cons.
He does.
He did not make it to Midwest this year. No. He didn't make it to Illinois. He went out to.
Brian and Paul were. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't be there every year.
No.
But I do. I've got to be there every year.
Well, and that was the killer this year, right? Is that the one in Arizona was the same weekend?
Yeah.
Because right, if I was a millionaire, I might have missed Midwest this year to get to go and meet Don Bluth and talk to him about that experience of making these gorgeous movies and then getting to make it a video game. Like that's just
I
wild.
wonder
Yeah.
if he's been to Midwest. I don't know.
He doesn't do anything. Like when I first saw that they had posted that he was going, I'm like, that has to be like an April Fool's. There's no way that's real. He must live in the area, right? And he's just like, sure, I'll come. He was probably there like,
2022, Philo Barnhart was an artist and animator for Disney and Don Bluth, who worked on Dragon's Lair and Space Ace, and he was at
nice.
Midwest Gaming that year. Philo Barnhart, 3 years
cool.
ago.
Yeah.
I don't know. Never say never.
I know. Like that was my thing. It was like, oh man, hopefully he's gonna do the circuit now, and we'll get him.
They throw enough money at him. Maybe he will. I don't know.
But again, Midwest already has so much stuff going on. Like I feel like they don't need to be paying people to come. People just want to come, don't they? At this point in time?
Well, the celebrities. I mean, they gotta fly in. They gotta fly in. They gotta. It's like they want. I mean, they're not gonna come out their own volition because
probably not. Right? You can just talk them into it with a little. Right? We'll pay for your room and board. That's fine.
All right. So what? So what did you see? What did you see at? Well, obviously, I think I've asked that question in some form or fashion. You asked me what my thoughts of Midwest Gaming. I guess what was your mark out moment? I guess when you were over there.
My mark out moment for this Midwest. I had a couple. This was our first Midwest in the camper. So that was super exciting. But for me, the fact that I talked to Tiger Chainsaw and that I did step up and put myself up there to even try, right? And have a minute to talk. That was only my second time like presenting and talking. I did an hour presentation about parenting and gaming last year at the Pittsburgh Gaming Expo, which was super fun. And it just was basically me sitting and talking. It's super nice to have somebody, right, like Lame Dad to sit and actually kind of like have a conversation and not just feeling like I'm like lecturing at a class or something. But it's kind of one of those things where I don't know, in some ways it's easier than YouTube, right? Because it's not permanent. Like,
right.
I'm gonna
unless somebody records it and you have that. You did said you did record it.
Oh my God. I did, but I recorded it, I uploaded it, so it was in my Google Drive, and then I did like the whole like Google Drive download because I have a NAS now, and so I have like so much stuff that I have to like unzip and then recategorize and put away, and so I should
my
not.
Other cat,
Kitty.
She's elderly, and she.
Oh, they're the best kitties. How old is she?
17 going on 18. 17.
The goodest babies.
Yeah. Yeah, she's she's needy. Anyway.
Yeah, so it's still in compression form somewhere after I downloaded it off of my Google Drive. So someday eventually the video will exist. But
don't lose it because I know.
It's there. Right, in a delightful compressed package from my Google Drive. Yeah, that's a whole nother technological catastrophe. But yeah, it's one of those things where I feel like going and talking like that, it's so much because I don't have to edit it. I don't have to, right? Even though I have super cool intro and outro music, I don't have to do any of that stuff. I can just go and kind of do my thing, and it's a lot less stress for me still to just like go and talk. Where editing and so on is still kind of one of those things where it kind of feels like a homework situation, like, oh, I have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've edited plenty of videos over the years. Yeah, video wrestling matches and such. Yeah. So you being a parent,
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna throw this up here because this has been a thing lately, or at least in my feed.
Mhm.
And oh, I don't got it up here. Hold on. Where's my presentation? I gotta turn this off. Oh, I gotta turn screen share off.
Ta-da.
Get this off. Oh, I lost my presentation. Doggone it. Gonna hit the. All right. Well, Facebook has been throwing a bunch of ads at my direction,
Yes.
and I've messaged several of these pages who are advertising the same thing. They're just kind of looking for clients.
Mhm.
And I don't know if you've
Oh.
seen these, but there's been a lot of them. They're like wanting to file class action lawsuits against gaming companies because games like Robolix or whatever else,
Roblox.
Minecraft or
Oh,
whatever,
yeah. Mhm.
is addicting and I guess ruining children's lives. And it's just like the common thread I get is, where's the parent?
Yeah.
Why is the parent being a parent? Why
Yeah.
is the why are they wanting the parent to join in the class action lawsuit against the gaming company? Because I guess they're trying to deflect from their own, I guess, neglect or neglecting their responsibility. So they want to. And besides, they're
They
having the video game be the babysitter too.
Yes. Well, and this feeds into a lot of that fear, right? I feel like so much parenting right now is fear, am I doing something wrong or am I going to it's still just parenting. Like there's
Mhm,
and it sounds so funny to say this, but they're just kids,
mhm,
right? Like you were a kid once, there will continue to be more kids. Like it's not it is intense, right? I went to school for early child development, right? Like so I guess it's kind of a big deal. But at the same time, the basic principles are there.
mhm.
And again, like one of the major things that I focus on when I'm talking to these parents who are buying into this fear mongering about screens are just ruining everybody's life. It's like number one, you have a phone.
Yeah.
So obviously it's not ruining your life. So like
Well, at times I kind of feel like
I
this is too much of a
totally agree.
distraction.
Sometimes, but we are adults and we have a relationship with our screens. And granted, we, at least I'm speaking for myself, and I think you're just a little bit ahead of me, grew up and had to develop a relationship with screens because they
Yeah.
didn't exist and now they do. And so we already kind of had that disconnect, right? We had our childhoods, although I remember getting told, get off of that, go outside, right? Like even with gaming back then.
Yeah. Although it's bloody hot back,
So
bloody hot, I'm not going outside. Forget it.
not right
Not
now.
unless I have to.
But it's still that same thing, right? Like you have a relationship, I have a relationship with my PlayStation, I have a relationship with my phone, I have a relationship with those things. Most people don't stop and think about it,
Mhm.
right? Where just my phone is always here, my phone is always on me. I have gotten to the point like where when I'm at home, my phone is usually in one of two places
Mhm.
because I don't want it on me. I don't want to respond to you immediately. I want that separation because I'm at home. This is my space. I don't care what you guys are doing, right? I don't have my Facebook notifications on. because I don't care. And I really have to work hard at maintaining that relationship. So as
Plus,
a
there's all this
parent,
drama.
yeah. So as a parent, you have to be cognizant of your relationships and then help your little people be cognizant of it too. So one of the major things that I recommend, and parents always look at me cross-eyed when I say this. One of the things that we did when our kids were littler, right?
Mhm.
And I think every single family starts off doing this, is you have an absolute like bottleneck on screen time.
Yeah.
And what limiting something like that does, just like alcohol or heroin or anything, you throttle that way down and it just makes it more exciting and more dangerous. And ooh, I want to have that all the time because I can't have it.
Yeah.
So we don't do that. Our kids can play whenever they want, for the most part, whatever they want, but they know they're doing it in a space where I'm going to walk by. Our kids do not have screens of any kind in their room with a door shut.
Mhm.
I'm going to walk by and I'll say, "Hey, what are you playing? Who are you playing with? Why are you've been watching that for a really long time, right? Like, what are you learning? Why are you so focused on this?" Or I'll say, "You haven't taken the trash out. You didn't do this. The cat needs, right? Our cats need attention."
Yeah, mind.
So I have two too. I'm actually surprised I'm being left alone. Um,
They haven't demanded their screen time yet?
the kids, right, so I can kind of pull them out if they're,
Yeah.
like, super hyper focused and I feel like they're kinda getting lost in it. We try not to eat in front of screens, which is a really big thing. I know, right, a generation ago, a lot of people would sit down and have dinner in front of the news, right? Like, that was just kind of family culture and TV culture at the time. We don't have that so much anymore. Now it's people come to the table with a phone. So we don't eat in front of any screen if we can at mealtime. Because again, you're engaging in an activity that's a really important activity, right? Like
Right.
eating. You should be paying attention. You're
Right.
eating. Like, what are you doing?
Well, and I'm
um,
digesting news at the same time
right.
also from the phone or the computer.
Or everything. So
Yeah.
it's one of those things where I think if people take little steps, little things, or like, okay, you can play whatever you right. If you want to play Tetris on my phone, fine. But you have to sit right here, right?
Right.
You can't just go and do whatever. And you can't and it changes it a little bit when you don't just let it right because unlimited screen time to so many people sounds crazy. Like your kids just play screens all the time. Yeah, they do. But they also, when it's not hot, go
Mhm.
for bike rides and they have friends over. We are so blessed. I live about 8 minutes from Cedar Point. So my kids spend so much time just walking around. Like just go be. And it's a wonderful resource that we have to be able to just go. Um, and so I really encourage people to find those things, to find those times that there's gonna be that screen break and to make it more appealing by taking away that bottleneck that you're creating by like highlighting like the ooh screen time. Screen time is so great. I can only have a little bit of it. Why? Right? We did the same with food in our house. So we're talking about food. Our kids just have a snack drawer, right? With whatever gummies and gum and granola bars and all the right kid food. it, they can help themselves. If they help themselves too much, it's gone. And
Yeah, I know.
right? It's gone.
I have to go out
And
and buy more.
and I'm not gonna buy more right now. So just through that, our kids have learned to regulate because they've had to, right? And luckily, as kids get older and older, they have more and more responsibilities and outside responsibilities like schoolwork. I have a band kid, I have a choir kid, I have an orchestra kid, right? So you have those things that they need to fulfill those things, right? Just like my husband has to go to work, I have to keep my kids alive. My kids have to practice their instruments before, right? Just like you go to work to earn money,
Yeah.
You
So
need
can
to
play
earn your
more
screen
video
time a little
games.
bit, right? Yeah, exactly. So it's not easy. And there
Right.
are times where it backfires. But by and large, most of our family life revolves around gaming. So for us, it's not hard to say, you know what, you're done. You're done on that. You're done on this. You've been on the PlayStation all day, right? What have you been playing? And I'm so naggy. What have you been playing? Who are you playing with? Why is it so interesting, right? What was there an update? Like, what sucked you in so hard? And then it's go put your laundry away because
You don't
sometimes
also
that break. Yes.
you also don't want to be that. Gosh, I've read horror stories where some guy shows up at an internet cafe, is playing for like 72 hours straight, and then drops dead.
Isn't that crazy? Like, I love
Like,
video
golly,
games,
how?
but I do not have the physical wherewithal. Like, that's
No,
not
I can't marathon like
no.
that. I can't marathon an arcade game. I think about
Uh-uh.
I can't do it. By the way, I gotta show you this because you know
Uh-uh.
that oops, I gotta show that screen. Get it up on the screen. Hold on. So one of these law firms was firing out all these advertisements. Well, they kind of embarrassed themselves too because they posted these and it's like, look at the
Wow.
spelling. Like, childhood is misspelled. Grand Theft, well, auto is misspelled.
That's so bad. Yeah.
Yeah,
Edit your AI graphics. Come on.
this was horrible. It was like highly yeah, MG or MIGY, which should be MAY, and then may cause, which should be may cause, but that's obviously
Wow.
misspelled. It's like you're soliciting clients. You're wanting
No,
these
you're
people
not
to
with
pay
that.
you thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to represent you in a class
Wow.
action lawsuit. And this is the bet where this represents you, and you want us to represent you, and you came and do
That's
the basic
wild.
spell check. Like,
Yeah.
that's pathetic.
That's really bad. Yeah. Yeah, and like I understand and right the whole addictive personalities and gaming addiction and so on. I totally get that, right? And if you really think you really have a problem, get help. But your kid being overstimulated or like super hyper focused in on Minecraft because he's trying to build an actual like scale Eiffel Tower. I don't understand how those kinds of things are construed as bad. Like the kid is like again, you're learning something. It's a relationship. There has to be guidance. And as you were saying, right? Parents seem to just kind of be like, here's a screen and take a step back. And
Yeah.
I'm not that guy. We don't treat it that way. So
So, all right.
oh, that's terrible. Come on. AI is
Yeah.
better than that. What are we doing?
So do you? I guess show us a little bit of your collection. I mean, we have that backdrop behind you.
Yeah, do you love that? That's like this is my pride and joy. So these are my unboxed. That's all those are my unboxed amiibo. And then where are you? I do have this guy. Having him makes me very happy. This is a mega yarn. And I do have a story. I had gone into the store, right? We had a Toys R Us. And I had gone in to pick up because I knew they were releasing the Punch Out guy, right?
Yeah.
And so they had the mega yarns. And so I held one in my little hand. And then as a responsible adult, right, I put it down. And I was like, no, it's not the one that I'm here for. And so, right, so I had to pay like 3 times as much to finally get one. But I have him. So most of them are still in their boxes in 18-gallon totes, which is super sad. One of my life goals is to kind of sell them out, right? Sell the ones who are still in their boxes so that I can buy out of box and hopefully come out on top. We'll see. Yeah. Plus, there's one amiibo in the world that I may never see or experience, and that makes me sad. But
Which one is that?
so Japan, and I have a couple of Japan onlys, right? The Dragon Rider Monster Hunter amiibo were Japan only, and so I have those ones. But so Box Boy, there's a QB amiibo, and it's so dumb, right? It's like literally a white square with the little face and the little legs on it. But it's like $400, and I can't.
Can't find one on Amazon either.
No, I do finally have a Solaire. Last summer, I grabbed one off of Facebook Marketplace. I got one for a good deal. Yeah, and that's what's been fun, honestly, about making the amiibo videos is I'm having to go back through my collection and kind of reflect on the collecting portion of it, and then even just physically go through my stuff. I'm finding that I don't have everybody, and it's been interesting to be like, oh yeah, right, they made 47 versions of this one. And like the summer 2017, they did like the player 1 and player 2 versions of a couple characters, and I only got one. And so now I'm like, shoot, like, why did I do this? Why did I pick this one? What am I doing? So it's been a lot of fun. And now my kids are home all the time now, and they make noise. So I can't.
School's out!
Yes, I can't just make videos in the middle of the day and be like, get all my toys out and unpack everybody. And yeah.
The kids have to be a part of the show.
They do, and I've thought about that, but they're old enough that they're like, no, we don't, we don't want to do that.
They don't want to be on camera. They don't want to talk about how great video games are or nothing. Or
no, they're kind of doing their own thing, and it's really fun to have multiple kids to have them do their own thing. Because if you asked me, I would say we're kind of doing the same thing with all of them, right? But they've each taken their own kind of angle. And yeah, the oldest one likes to write out rule books, or he'll, try and redraw all the item sets, or all, he did at one point in time try and draw all the original Pokemon, which is a lot of drawing.
I can't imagine how long that took.
I know, especially for a kid. The middle one, again, during COVID's stay, when we were all home for 2020, he decided he wanted to get really good at Smash. And that's all it took. And he's been watching Smash videos and playing Smash, right? We go to tournaments, he plays, he loses a lot, and he learns and gets better every single time. It's crazy. Right.
I know during COVID year, there's no wrestling shows to go to.
No.
And I broke every daggum rule in the book because it's like, was not afraid of getting sick. And plus, I did everything wrong. I should have been on in ICU, face down on an oxygen tank, and died 100 times. But I never really got
glad
sick.
You didn't. Yes.
I didn't really get sick. I mean, when I was exposed to somebody that had COVID, took vitamin cocktails and built up my immune system with the vitamins, and that was effective. I had no worse than the common cold. And I made regular trips up to the Galloping Ghost Arcade because there was nothing else to do.
Yeah.
And
that's great that they were able to flex and stay alive. I can't imagine.
Speaking of the Galloping Ghost, did you ever go up? Have you ever been?
I have not. And that's definitely one of those things where we talk about it, right? Because going to Midwest, right? We have to go around Chicago. So
Yeah.
hopefully one of these times. It'd be fun to get to go, especially when it's still all of the kids, when we would all be able to go together. We just actually this last weekend we were in Cincinnati, and
Mhm.
there was an arcade that we got to go to, right? Like a pay at the door wristband. And that was really fun. They had a good mix of old. I played Dig Dug for like almost an hour, of good old cabinets.
Mhm.
Some that had been really nicely restored, some that needed some attention, but then lots of more modern, and then more like there was some DDR, but there were like a Tyco drum machine and some of those really neat, more modern engaging things. We didn't leave.
Rhythm.
Yeah, we didn't leave till after 10 o'clock, which is really late for us because they had a full 10-player Killer Queen Black setup,
Yeah.
and it is so much fun. There's no reason that is as fun as it is. And we at first our family was like split on both teams, but as people like kind of came and went, we all wound up on one side, and then people didn't want to play with us anymore. We were just winning over and over. It's like, okay, well, I guess we'll go home now. But yeah, because arcades are a very different experience. And that's just even standing. I stood where I could hear the ping ping of the pinball tables, and you can hear right the drum game, and you can hear some of the older arcade attract noises and stuff. And it's so zen to kind of lose yourself in that arcade feeling, and you
Yeah.
totally understand why I love this as a kid, right? Why I always was like, it was always $2. I don't know why. Can we have $2? Can we have $2 to go to the arcade? Like,
Yeah.
and I love that it still exists, and that places like Galloping Ghost can, survive something as traumatic as COVID. And
Well,
then
they were a little
continue to thrive.
diversified as to what they do because they sell reproductions and gosh, they do repairs and stuff. It's like
Oh,
they
awesome.
have they have a gym, they have a a garage, so they repair cars.
Oh, that's crazy.
I know, and now they have Kaji Kobo, which they are now able to 3D print Godzilla figures.
Amazing.
But if you go to Galloping Ghosts, you'll need about 2 full days, going on 3.
That's Watching
For the
videos about it are amazing.
Yeah, because now they're up to like they're over 1,000 now. Yes, and they're gonna supposedly stop at 1,050 because they got no more room.
Sure.
They got a separate pinball building too.
Oh, see, yeah. See, here in Ohio, in Girard, there's the Pastimes Pinball.
Yeah,
We haven't been there yet either. And that's, I think they're technically a museum. Like they have so many tables. It's just awesome. That's like a field
about
trip. We need to plan a long weekend and go out.
about 600, I believe, pins and
Wow.
video games. And
Right?
yes, I haven't been out there because pets.
Yeah.
So T20, yes, T20 is coming up. I don't
That's
know.
awesome.
Do you think you want to enter an arcade tournament like that?
I do not.
Do you do competitive gaming of any sort?
Absolutely not. I enjoy a challenge, right? I enjoy kind of a carrot dangled out there, like, oh, Lindsay, see if you can do this, see if you can try that. But no, I do not have the fine motor dexterity that people need to do some of these incredible things. I love watching speed runs. Again, my oldest loves watching right, like shortcut runs on Mario Kart.
Yeah.
It's absolutely phenomenal what people can do, right? The combination of technology and human hands is bananas. But
They're
no, that is
exploiting glitches
not
too.
me.
Nintendo World Championships, they had a Mario Kart track as one of the games, and You had to exploit a glitch to get the fastest time, like jump off the daggum course and then get
Right.
dropped in the right spot. It was like,
But did it work?
I can't. You'd have to been practicing for
Right.
weeks on it.
Yeah, that's
And
crazy.
I didn't own one. And I ended up buying a Nintendo DS so I could practice the game before.
Nice.
But what good was that? I'm not really so much on the handhelds, but favor for the consoles and the stand-up cabinets. But
Sure.
yeah. Future goals or future conventions you're going to that we'll be seeing you at.
We are. We are for sure going to the Southeast Game Exchange. Where else are we going? We will very likely go to the Cleveland Gaming Classic since it's basically in our backyard, right here in September in Cleveland. And then I am a guest out at Pittsburgh what is it? Pittsburgh Gaming Exchange. That one is PGX.
Yeah.
The first weekend in October. So I think that's probably it this year, unless something else amazing happens and pulls us away. Again, with having the challenge of having high school kids is, the benefit is they have their own cool things they want to do. And the negative is that they have their own cool things that they want to do with your time and money. So
Yeah.
we're pretty busy once school starts again. So I think that's probably going to be it. But I'm really looking forward to it. We are, going to have a lot of fun driving cross country here and getting to go check out a convention in a completely different place, right? Like it's so far removed from the Midwest. I'm really looking forward to it.
I'd like to go to more cons too, but I'm kind of stuck in the Midwest right now. I
Yeah.
can't go to Ohio. Now Cleveland looks interesting because if I go out that way, I'd have to go all the way to Girard, Ohio, or Youngstown, Ohio, to check out Pastime, and I need an entire
It's
week.
like a whole week. Yep.
If I didn't have to give antithyroid medication to one of the cats, it'd been easier. And if I could have my mom care for him at her house, but she has 3 cats in there, and that's
Sure.
not going to work. They're not going to get along. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of in a rock and a hard place. And then I can't. I wanted to get out of wrestling entirely because I filmed the wrestling matches at
Sure.
ringside.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like they said, "Oh, I'm a lifer."
Ooh, are you?
Am I? Do I want to be? Not really. I wanted to exit gracefully. It's like they pulling me back in.
Yeah.
Ugh. No, the drama was pulling me out, and it's like, but now all the world changed in the last couple of years. Gosh, yeah, all the fuss in gaming right now is like trying to include content that players don't want. They're preaching to them. I don't know if you ever encountered that, but you're more Nintendo, so you kind of don't really run into it. The type of games you're playing, as you probably don't run into that much unless it's, I don't know, one of those adventure games in dystopian worlds.
I do. Yeah, we did play Aloy, the Horizon games, which are phenomenal. Especially as a sci-fi reader.
Mm-hmm.
Sign me up for more Horizon, whatever they want to call it. Thank you very much. Yeah. Yeah, I don't play speedrunning games. I will play Mario Kart, but I will probably lose. So it's still fun.
Well, the other thing is everybody wants to play. So all the tournaments at the game cons, it's either Smash Brothers,
Yes.
Mario Kart,
Yes.
or fighting games, or Tetris,
Which I love Tetris. I would even probably play in a tournament just for fun. But yeah, I'm not. It gets going too fast and I can't keep up.
No,
Yeah, I wish there was more variety. I agree with you. Like, come on. There's more popular games. Yeah.
T20, that's my thing.
Yeah.
Although, gosh, classic video game tournament, retro game tournament at Midwest Gaming Classic, 3 years in a row. Yeah, you were there for the last 3 years.
Mhm.
2600 Space Invaders. They had Zelda and then NBA Jam Tournament Edition. I
Yeah.
played in all 3 years. They gave away a guitar and cash the first year. Then in the
They
second
did.
year, they gave away just the guitar. And then the third year, all I got was a freaking trophy.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I actually won it. I was like
Sure.
runner up the last 2 years.
Yes, you have. That's hilarious. Yeah, it was like, here
So,
I am.
was it Phil Moore? Phil Moore of Nick
Trophy.
Arcade was the host.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Yep. He wasn't there this year. I know that.
Mm-mm.
I did ask if he was going to come, but they didn't. They didn't get on horn and bring him in. I guess they're well booked. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
No, I guess, thank you so much. I really do appreciate opportunities like this. I think gamers need other gamers. And I think conversation and talking about all of the different amazing ways that we all play games, even though we're all very different people, is a beautiful thing. And as we've discussed, right, so many negative everythings get hung on the gaming community at large. And I really don't think that's fair.
No. Well, these are okay. Technology challenged old geezers that long for the days of the rotary phone and manual typewriter.
I know. It's crazy.
But now
at the
I'm
same
getting
time,
old, so what am I going to do now?
play arcade games. You know exactly what you're going to do.
Yes, I'm going to play. Speaking of which, Midwest Gaming and me trying to get out of the wrestling business. So what am I doing bringing this guy in? This is next week.
Oh, that's hilarious.
The Midwest Gaming.
That's awesome.
Midwest Gaming Classic Heavyweight Champion, Johnny Cass.
Yes.
Who is a wrestler and a gamer. But he said he's only gotten to wrestle 2 times this year, which is kind of head scratching. So we're gonna have him on next week.
Cool.
And I've known about this guy for a few years because he had this belt before he even stepped foot in the ring. And I was like,
oh,
I want that belt. I want that belt around my waist, but I can't wrestle.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Wow.
God. Yeah, if I'm gonna win that belt, he'd have to agree to put it up in a best of 7 challenge on random arcade games.
Right.
Which is what I do.
That would be really entertaining to watch, though.
I've done a few of those, and I've won a few of those. So, but it's against other gamers. So I don't know. I also wanted to do it with doggone Xavier Woods because he comes to the Galloping Ghost and won the hardcore title, but all casual players were there. None of the former gamers of the year, like me.
Oh.
And did it during Christmas week.
Oh, yeah, no.
And also this. Well, at some point or another, and you mentioned Walter Day during your Midwest Gaming walk around.
Yes,
Yeah,
you gotta cool.
You gotta get yourself a trading card at some point. Yeah, I got 2 of these right now. I got this and the so I'm card 190, 178 and 4124.
Whoa.
I think did I give you these?
I was gonna say, I think that is in with my Midwest booty that I brought.
I hope I gave you.
Yes, because
I gave you one
signed. I have a signed one.
Okay, cool.
This guy right here. Yep.
All right. Lindsay Lauwers.
Yes, sir.
LLCoolGames.
I love it. Everybody messes it up. That's so great. Awesome.
Tongue-tied. Follow her on YouTube, Lindsay, LLCoolGames. This interview is on Twitch. It'll eventually make its way onto YouTube in 2 weeks when the Twitch link expires. So
Awesome.
Lindsay, thank you for joining me tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for asking. I love it.
All right. Have a good night, and hope to see you around the arcade soon.
Awesome.
All
Thanks.
right. Good night. All right. Before I get out of here, a quick score rundown. House Highs at the Calvin Ghost. Some new scores came in. I couldn't have time to talk about it last week because the Royals isn't anything to talk about. Andrew Owasco put in some new scores today and took Mr. Dude's Wild Ride at just breaking 100,000. And he is also hitting great 1,000-mile rally today and set a new score of 52.44 seconds. He also took the score for Sendeki Striker, breaking 180 million. Oh, he also took Grid Seeker, and he edged out Michael Smith's score by just a couple hundred points. It was that close. JP Pitts, of course, got his inaugural score on Power Stone 2. You knew he was going to take that one. Well, Arcade Wars is still going on, and right now it's just Underground Retrocade and Garcade. I will put a score in to represent the Calvin Ghost, but the challenge cards is just pretty much taking over everything. So I don't know. And with Arcade One Up in Australia out of business, I don't think this is going to be around too much longer. And the chase for tokens, not really anything changed here. Andrew Owasco still on top, and I'm sitting at 4th. And the power rankings, no change here either. Pretty much the same order. So I hope I can move up a little bit this weekend. But the Game of the Year odds, well, at this point, I kind of moved Andrew Owasco up a bit and aware of T20 as the two most likely scenarios of the Gamer of the Year. Either Andrew Owasco is going to win it for his 3rd time, or the winner of T20 is going to get it. Ben Falls, we thought he was in. He's kind of quieted down a little bit, so he hasn't set any new scores the last few weeks. I think the last score he set was when he took Turbo Miss Pac-Man from me. So that was over a month ago. He's been pretty quiet. So I put this new thing in there. Player clearing the most challenge cards. I have no idea who that would be. John Liming, and then I'm supposed to put a number for nobody winning it. I calculating this, it would be about a 10% chance. So I don't know. It's still wide open, guys. And as I mentioned, Johnny Cass will be here. The Midwest Gaming Classic Wrestling personality and professional gamer, and he signed to Malice Media LLC. So that's next week, right here on the podcast, and that will do it for the Crimeycade. And I am going to raid a channel, but who am I going to raid? I'm going to raid somebody. Who am I going to raid? Who am I going to raid? But join me next week. July the 3rd, right before July 4th weekend. I wonder. Yeah, that's going to be. I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to run up to Calvin Ghost Arcade for that weekend or stick around because I want to work on that cocktail. I also have to prepare for Missouri Game Con. So I got to do something. All right. So I'm looking at who am I going to raid? I'm going to, well, I think I'm going to know who I'm going to raid. Since we talked about Nintendo stuff, we're going to raid the Nintendo Dads podcast and let everybody know what you saw on here. And until next time, I am the Mad Conservative Crime Fighter, and have a good night, everybody.